Hey everyone, today I'm going to talk a little bit about what to do when you are looking to move forward, whether it's just moving forward in general or perhaps you kind of feel a little bit stuck. What you can do to really kind of move the needle a little bit, get yourself out of that rut. So here is another message from my guides, the Crazies, and it says, every day that you wake up is an opportunity for you to move forward. Don't give in to any distractions or any conscious mind involvement. Sometimes you have to push through the struggle. You can give in to an infinite number of distractions at any time. But what is most important to you? Do you want to loiter or do you want to grow? The question of forward is not for us, but for you. And again, another awesome message. I really like, the way that they kind of throw it back in my face when I ask them about moving forward. They're like, that's not a question for us. That's really a question for yourself. And so, it's really about, what do you want? Asking yourself, what do I want and how can I make that happen? I know that sometimes, like when we're, just feeling those days of really just needing to sit on the couch and just do nothing, maybe you do need that break. Maybe you're exhausted and you do need to kind of binge Netflix for a little while and just see what happens. But then, it's not something that you can do every day because you do want things. You want to do things, whether that's live your passion, volunteer, have more time to do hobbies or, play with your kids, play with your animals, whatever that is. We can really get lost in that loop of like feeling stuck. And what comes across a lot of times in QHHT sessions, a lot of times from my guides, is you just have to make the decision to do it. And I know that sounds really simple, and it really is. Even today, just right now, shooting this video, it took me like 2 hours to really just sit down and do it. And even as I was sitting here, I was going through all the things in my mind. Oh, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to talk about. But this is something I love doing. I love sharing the insights that I receive from my guides and the QHHT sessions with you guys, just sharing my knowledge. And finally, I just had to say, you're doing it, and hit the record button and just start talking. So I encourage you, if you're in that place where you just feel like I'm stuck and I don't know what to do, just hit that record button and start talking. For whatever that is in your life, whatever, that is for you, whatever that means for you. Sometimes, we just have to make that decision to go and ask ourselves, like, what do we really want today? Do I want to be the person that lays on the couch and kind of, doom scrolls through Instagram? Or do I want to be the person that maybe goes outside for 10 minutes and sits in the sun and, puts my bare feet on the ground and like help myself to feel better? We tend to know the things that will help us feel better, but we tend not to do them. And so I really encourage you, just make that decision for today to be different. They say there's really no such thing as motivation, and all it takes is making the decision to do it for about 5 minutes. And you find that you really do, you get in the flow and you can continue doing it. That hardest part is getting yourself to do it. And sometimes I wonder, if it's hard because we make it hard, like I said, in QHHT sessions, it comes through a lot of times, like you just have to decide and ask yourself, what is it that you want? What do you want? And don't let your conscious mind get in the way. We tend to tell ourselves we don't have enough time. We tend to tell ourselves, I don't know how to do it. But you really just have to start. And I know I've talked about this before, like once you make the decision to do something, the universe starts to conspire for you. You're showing it that you're ready. And it really does just start to conspire. I always tell my clients, I really try to incorporate this for myself as part of my own kind of practice. We only need to move the needle like 1 degree. We don't need to make a 180-degree change today because that's not sustainable. But when we can shift just 1 degree, it really like, just kind of whoop, goes out like that. Like you'll be on a totally different trajectory. And like a flight pattern is coming to mind. I'm not sure why. Like when you're on a plane, like, the degrees that they fly, if they just switch that 1 degree, they're like off and running on another direction. And that's what life can be like. It really only takes a little change this today, a little change for the week, a little change for the month. And you can be on a totally different trajectory in a matter of a few months, a few weeks, just depending on how far you can move that needle. And like I said, no one is expecting anybody to make a 180-degree turn, because it's really just not sustainable for most of us. If you can do that, more power to you. That's awesome. Let me know. Let me know in the comments that you're one of the people that can make a 180 degrees, and please share with us how you do it. But for most of us, it's just not really feasible, maybe for a little while, but it's not normally sustainable. So, my guides are really encouraging all of us to kind of ask ourselves, what is it that we want? What is it that we want out of life? What is it that we want today? Who do we want to be? Do you want to loiter or do you want to grow? And just ask yourself, again, the question is not for them, but for you. Who do you want to be today? How do you want to move forward? And just make the decision to be different. It really does just take making a decision. I know it sounds simple, but you just have to make the decision, and you can do it. Like I said, even if you just make the decision to be different for 5 minutes, eventually it gets easier to do it for 5 minutes, and then you can be different for 10 minutes, and then 15, and you see that it snowballs on itself because it picks up momentum. You only have to think about something for 17 seconds for it to gain momentum in the universe. Like for a thought to gain momentum, whether it's positive or negative, it only takes 17 seconds for it to gain momentum. So the more you think about doing something different and being, better, or whatever that looks like, doing something that you want to do, the more momentum you'll feel about it, and you will be able to talk yourself into it. But the more you kind of talk, you can also talk yourself out of it. 17 seconds of telling yourself this isn't going to work, it's probably not going to work. So, talk yourself into it. Take today to just do what you know is best for you. Again, whether it's 5 minutes or for half an hour. The hardest part is really just getting up and doing it. And so just give yourself a little motivation today, or no motivation, sorry. Just give yourself a little decision to be different. And let me know in the comments if you were able to kind of just make the decision to do something differently today and really feel like get yourself out of that rut. If you know someone that you feel like would benefit from this video, please feel free to share. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you on the other side.